So now we're just doing a gravel clean on this aquarium, getting all the dirt out of the gravel while we're doing a water change. I'd really like to put some carbon in the filter because there's a little bit of discoloration in the water. And this filter's got a UV in it, so once a year we do want to replace that tube. That helps keep the water nice and clear. The gravel's getting cleaned at the moment, and now what I'm doing is siphoning the water out of this canister to try and make it lighter so I can pull it out, because there's a small hole and that filter is about as small as I'd want running this tank. So that's fitting in there at the moment, but what I'd really like to do is to, in the future at some time, put a turbo filter in the tank that I can use for mechanical, and then just have the canister with marine pure so it doesn't have to be cleaned, because that's quite a small spot, and that canister I really don't want any smaller for this tank. Then pulling it in and out of this small spot is very inconvenient and it takes extra time. So it would be better, if possible, to just have an internal filter that we could put as a carbon filter or a mechanical filter, and that would reduce the amount of time that we potentially might need servicing the tank, and would potentially give better results, just because servicing this filter is not very convenient. The fish look very healthy. So in the filter at the moment we've just got a coarse sponge, and so that's good because it's been quite a number of months and we've not cleaned it so far. And then we've got plenty of marine pure here. So considering that's a coarse sponge, really if we clean this filter a couple of times a year, that'll probably get us out of trouble. The only thing is that there's nothing really for fine filter material. So doing the gravel clean will help to remove any fine sediment. But because this filter is harder to clean than we hoped, then the less often we have to clean this filter, the better. And the disadvantage is we don't have any fine like polyfilter or anything in here, because that would need to be cleaned more often. And at the moment we really want to only have things that we don't have to clean very often. So adding a turbo filter would be a great idea sometime in the future. Feeding the fish, I really want that to be your main food. That's the goodness. And then if you are going to feed colour foods, make sure that it's just a little bit of the diet. So at the moment I'm just going by the fact that this is nearly full and that's nearly empty. So this one here is something that we want to put in maybe once a week as a little bit of a treat. It helps to make the fish very colourful. That's the one that makes them really healthy, and that's the one that makes it really clean. So I want this minimally, and I want this one most of the time. So this one here is set at the absorption rate of the fish. It's much higher quality ingredients, and it's got the probiotic bacteria in it, which means when the fish poo, the bacteria in the poo eats the poo. So I'd like to see that one getting used up about 5 times more than that one. Also, because this tank doesn't really have adequate pre-filtration, because the canister is set up to not have to be cleaned very often. So the probiotic and the cleaner food is really what I want focused on. Focus on that one. That's a little bit extra for extra colour. So we've got some beautiful fish in here. I probably wouldn't really recommend more fish at this stage. I would like to see the mechanical filtration improved. But these fish are looking very healthy and happy. But I'd like to see a mechanical filter on this tank before more fish get added. This tank could handle a lot more fish. But also these fish need time to grow, because some of these fish will get a decent size. So giving them room is good too. But they're all looking nice and healthy and happy. Doing a water change right now. But while we don't have adequate pre-filtration, gravel clean water changes are really the key to making sure this tank keeps going well. And very happy fish. Now the salt level in here is basically 0. And with cichlids, I like to keep the salt level above 0, because salt's very good for their immune system. So I'm going to add a bunch of extra of this today to try and raise the salt level, which will help to increase body slime and increase immune system. So whenever you do bring a water sample to the shop, it's good to ask us to check your salt level as well. So now we're filling the tank up. So it's really important that about every 5 centimetres we put a squirt of this in, just to take any chlorine and chloramone out of any tap water. Also, we've cleaned the filter, so adding a bit of good bacteria never hurts. These products do last longer in the fridge, so if yeah, I will use it up in time anyway, but any of your bacteria products, the general advice is it's better in the fridge, lasts longer. Just looking at this tank, other fish I'd consider adding pretty much straight away. I'd look at a couple of Plecostomus catfish just to help keep the tank clean. I'd probably add a couple of silver dollars because I think they look really cool. They look like little piranhas. And then maybe even a couple of clown loach would certainly add to this tank. Super important to the fish is that that wave maker is agitating the surface like that. And we want the filter agitating the surface. It's really important that the surface of this water breaks. So the fish will always be a little bit noisier while it's shooting the air out, but once it shoots the air out, it should go nice and silent.